It appears time has come. The week has arrived. The time of the week has arrived. Chunga, my friends, Rev, and he ain't no vicar. He's here, live on air. And today I'm joined by the lovely lady Ros the Boz, sitting right next to me. Say hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are we doing? How is everyone today? Weather is today, I'll be honest, beautiful weather out there today. I'm not expecting many people to be through this show because the weather is lovely. It's lovely. It's lovely. Yeah, it is. It's really, really, really hot outside. And I should be outside working on my tan, but I don't get a tan and I just get a headache instead because I have no hair and the heat hits my head and I go. So, yeah, welcome to the show. And as usual, I always say my things. The show is brought to you by me and Ross today. And if you like this show, please hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe. And obviously, we want to know when these are coming out. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. Oh, ring the bell. Ding it on. Yeah. So we're going to start the show. Now, normally, I do start my show with really, really bad jokes. No, I do mean bad jokes. But I thought I'd do something different today. Because that's what I do. And now you can see Roger's reaction in the background to these because Ros hasn't actually heard these jokes yet. I haven't previewed them with Ros. She has no idea what these jokes are going to be like as they come out. You can see Roger's reaction in the background as you come out with these lines. Isn't that right, Lady Ros?
Yeah.
Are you all ready for these? Is Ros ready for these? Why did the chicken commit suicide? Get to the other side. You see, the joke's normally how does the chicken cross the road to get to the other side. So this time it's how does the chicken commit suicide? Get to the other side. Yeah, I know. You got to think about these ones. Honestly, these are jokes you got to think about. Really get into them and think about it. Like I went to the doctor the other day and I asked her something for persistent wind. He gave me a kite. You can see the background. Roger's thinking about. She was had a silent. If you noticed, there was a slight chuckle there. And Ros thought about it and then got it. She'll give me a slap in a minute if his jokes get worse. I know. I said to my doctor the other day, I've broken my arm in 20 places. He stopped. He said, "Stop going to those places." How did you hear that? My phone's supposed to be on silent, and Siri was being nosy and listened to the conversation and said he didn't understand. Special guest, Siri, special guest. A cement mixer has collided with a prison man. You can see the thought come across Roger's face at the moment. The police are looking for hardened criminals. Oh my God, did you hear that? A whisper of.
Oh my God.
I needed a password 8 characters long. I picked Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I just love the reaction I get. Just love the reaction from Roger. You come out with these. You can't beat this sort of reaction to these bad puns coming out, but clever ones as a thought comes across. It's like, oh. So the other day, I saw this bloke and he was cutting up a cheetah. And he was putting a fast one. And normally I would throw my pad in that sort of direction over my shoulder. But if I do that, I'd end up smacking Rosalind in the face with it, and she will literally give me a slap. She will give me a slap. She will, and I don't. What? Behave yourself. This is a family show. Behave yourself. Aruga! Yeah, behave yourself. Behave
You're
yourself.
asking for a slap.
Right, said Fred. I'm too sexy for my spa, too sexy for my bird. Coming to beat me. I'm a model and okay. Right, said Fred. You see, that's what sort of the song.
Okay.
Well, as you can see, like the chapter or the title of this live feed, a totally excellent actor. He is. He's not my favourite actor. He's not. He's in my top 10, and I've gone to do top 10 films with him in the past and failed. The reason I've done that is because of his films that I have seen, I couldn't make up 10. Now, Roz is looking a bit intrigued now because she's not understanding why I want. Now, the reason I say that is if I were to separate some of the runs of films he's done, then I could make a 10, but I can't really nationalise it into a series of films. So I thought I'd speak about him as a person and just generalise the films up. He's actually made 68 films. 68 films. Now, that may seem like a big number, but considering most actors are in the hundreds, 200s, 300s, 400s, and that's just their age. Um, yes, I know that Ben. They're all. He was born in Beirut, Lebanon, in the year 1964. That makes him 6 years older than me, and a little less older than because yeah, I wouldn't say he will give me a slap.
Yes, he's 4 years older than me, darling, so that will make him 55.
He was born on September the 2nd. His name is Carno Charles Reeves. Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves. He is in my top 10 actors. And I went and looked at him, and there's so much about him that I didn't know. He was actually, although he was born in Beirut, he's actually Canadian. So he's one of these nice people, Canadian, provinces sort of people. To find out whereabouts in Canada. He's clever. He doesn't tell people where he lives. Very, very clever that. I first saw him in a film, and this is why I said an excellent actor was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. A comedy so bad it's fun to watch. It was done on a lowish budget. Now, Roger's suddenly got the film. She knows what film I'm on about. Has certain key line, rememberable lines such as, if you're me and I'm you, what number am I thinking of right now? 69, dude! As Ross will tell you, I virtually know that film off by heart. Off by heart. There's a lovely scene where
I love them in the phone box. I just love the scenes in the phone box when they're all in the phone box.
So tell the viewers what is it about the phone box things you like the most?
Just because you start off with Bill and Ted in the phone box, then you get one person in there, which makes three of them in there.
Let's play a game with Roz, and she's not going to expect this game. Because bear in mind, Roz knows this film pretty well because I've seen it so many times. Roz has seen it so many times because of it. How many people were actually in the phone box? Can you name the parts? So I'll give you one, Billy the Kid. Was someone they picked up in the past, so he was in the phone box.
Genghis Khan was one of them.
Hey! Join in, people! Join in!
And you're putting me on the spot, so I can't think of who.
Your mind goes blank, doesn't it? It's like,
no! Yes, but it's just
Billy
amazing Kid. How many people they can fit in the phone box. They had a band in there at one point because they had a musician of some form in there, and I cannot think who. But I know there was a musician in there.
Roger's referring to the scene in the film where they wreck apart a modern town mall, and a classical musician finds a synthesizer, and he starts playing right head tech music. And I believe Roger's talking about Mozart.
Yeah.
Who they picked up. He also picked up Socrates, or as they called him, sauerkraut. Um, they also picked up at one point Nelson, not Nelson. What's his name? The one-armed bloke, the French. Napoleon Bonaparte. They got him first. They got him
I was
first.
thinking of him and I couldn't say it. I was thinking of him because I couldn't remember the name.
It's
Just like him.
one arm, because they lose him and they go to a water slide place in America called Waterloo. You know, and again, one of those lines you just can't forget. I was Napoleon, and we were stuck in America in the last century. Where would we go? Waterloo, dude! Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They come out with these stupid lines. They even have a thing where if they're locked away, they'd go, right, after we get out of here and do the concert and they're all done, we'll go all back in time, get the key to the door, so we can unlock the door so we can get out. And then they just open the door and walk out. So, really? They're trying to go a lot of ways of using this thing about after they get out, but how can they get out to start with without the door being unlocked? It's a time enigma sort of thing. Enigma. And they actually say we mustn't forget to do this, because if we do forget to do this, we can't get out. But we have got out, so we can't forget. Ruga! Brilliant film. Absolutely brilliant. They're going on a very, very low budget. They actually followed it up with another one called Ted Bogus Journey. And that was funny, but I don't think it was as good as the first. They modernised it, more money was available, and because of that, I don't think it had the same feel to it. Very funny film, though. Very funny film. Recommend it to anybody. His first film he actually done, debut film, was in 1985. I was 15 then. 15! And now look at me, I'm getting old. His first film was called One Step Away. I've never heard of it. I've never heard. In fact, I've actually done a list of films that he's done that I've heard of. Some of these I've seen and some of these I haven't. So I'm not going to do a massive biography on these films because, you know, because I haven't seen them, I don't feel right doing that. So I mentioned the Bill and Ted films. I've mentioned the Bill and he done another film called Point Break. I have heard of that. He played a surfer, so very, very similar to Bill and Ted sort of. Hey dude, just go surfing in the waves, surfing in the waves. And speaking of surfing, if you ever fancy going out in a tsunami and surfing on that wave, oh, it's just silly. Just don't do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Anyway, back to the list. So yeah, I can't tell you much about Point Break because I've never seen it. But the next on the list I have seen, it's one of my favourite films he's been in. It's got a bus. Now, if this film was done in modern times, this film wouldn't work because buses never run on time. Honestly, you go wait for a bus. If you're in a rush, you ever noticed that? If you want to get somewhere quickly, you can guarantee that bus is going to be a good 5-10 minutes late. And then the people are going to be stopping at every single blinking stop, which wouldn't be a problem. But you're behind slide and the bus is late. So that really. So yeah. Anyway, back to the list. So you can, yes, you can see Roz chuckling in the background. I like it. I hear Lady Roz laughing because I know that means this show is working. The show is working. I'm making at least one person laugh, and if I just make one person laugh, especially Roz, I'll have a good evening because I get a bit, I mean, I've done something right, and she'll be happy all evening, and I won't get moaned at, you know. And saying that, I'm now going to get moaned at because I mentioned that, and then she won't remember to forget that, and then I'll say, "What's for dinner, Roz?" And she'll say, "Bread and butter for you, but I'm having this." I'm going to force you to bread and butter, bread and butter. It's not actually butter. I can't believe it's not butter or clover. It's like years of butter as you can get. Funny faces I'm getting today. Anyway, the film I'm getting back to the list. Getting back to this list. Film I'm on about is called Speed. And it has the line, Roz is now thinking in her mind, have I seen that film?
Yes.
Have you seen that film?
Yes.
Who's the co-star in it? Ah, see, it can't be that good, but Roger, she can't come out with his
I was just
co-star.
about to say Nicolas Cage, but it's not.
No, matron,
In that case,
no.
I'm thinking of the wrong film.
It's Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Is there on the bus?
Well, I would say it's better. I'm talking about a bus, so of course it's going to be on a bus.
Have they got to keep it? It's the one where they got to keep it at a certain mile per hour. It's just in a certain mile
the
per
basic
hour.
plot line is
If they go below
without
a
ruining
certain
it,
speed,
if when the bus goes above a certain speed, the bomb activates, and then if it goes below the speed, it goes. See, it makes a bit of a mess. So, but it wasn't just a bus; it was actually a tube train, and there was a lift in there as well. Because memory serves me correct, there's a bloke trying to get ransom for people in a lift that he sabotaged and dropped down. And when they rescue the people, he then gets his own back by doing this on the bus. And you even see this jump the bus makes over an impossible jump over like a gap over a bridge thing. And it sounds plausible, it sounds funny, but it's really good film. If there's any film I want to recommend you while watching it, I would say that be the one. That be the that that, that be the one to watch. Another one to watch. It's really really good. It also has Dennis. I believe Dennis Hopper plays the bad guy in it. I believe. Now, you see, I'm saying I believe because I like to do these by memory. Some of these films. So yes. Really? Really? Smegin, really?
we're talking about somebody who has a, shall we say,
Look, I've got a bad memory. I admit it. I have a bad memory, and
that is what the laugh was about.
it's nice to what we're talking about again. That's how bad the memory is. That was a joke. I haven't really forgotten what we're talking about. What are we talking about? Yes, speed. This bus goes above 50, bomb activates, you can't go below 50, so they're driving around city, avoiding the queues without this bus going across to America. The next film is More Than One. Now, bunch these films up. Now, I've not seen these films. I can't tell you why I haven't seen them. I just doesn't really me, so I've never really gone to watch it. And that's the John Wick films. Now, I've been told by people who've seen those series of films, and they are more of his modern ones. They are very, very good to watch. Just for me, it's not my thing. I may in the future go to watch it. You don't know what goes across my plate. Do I decide to do it? Matron. The next one I have seen, and he plays like where can I put it? I want to say an anti-hero in this film. It's called Constantine. Now, Roger's now thinking, have I seen that film? I can tell you, Roger, you have not seen that film.
No, the name doesn't ring a bell either.
I have seen it. It is okay. It's not one of his best, I do know he's very selective of the films that he chooses to do. He's not one of these people who goes, yeah, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. He'll read the script at least about 15 times before he says yes. And that's if he likes the script. Come on. Woo! Yeah, see, earthquake. Special effects alert, earthquake. Whoa! A lot of shaking going on, a lot of shaking going on. Shaky, 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 shaky. Or how to make your PC look like a bit of jelly. Woo! Ah, come on. The next one, the next three, I should say, comes again, one of my favourite films that he's done. Roz has seen these films. She has seen The Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
She has seen The Matrix Reloaded. And she has seen The Matrix Resurrection. Is it Resurrection? But yeah, it's personally, when The Matrix come out, a film was I love watching that film. I can watch that film again and again and again and again and again and again, funny enough. But the other two, although when I'm in a mood to watch the three together to see the storyline and everything else, why have you got a bit of sellotape on the table? Distracted. Oh, put it on, Ross. There you go, a bit of sellotape. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. That joke is done. No, you can't take my mouth up either. No, no, no. You're not tape on my arm. When I take it off, it pulls the hairs out. It's, stop that idea going through her head. Going through. Don't you agree, people? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that, eh? So yes, going back. When I saw The Matrix, I thought that film was fantastic. Absolutely, absolutely fantastic. With the line at the end saying, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, I'm going to tell you how it begins. And I personally think, and even though the other two films are very, very good, very, very good, I personally think they should have kept that film to one. The Matrix should have been just that one film. But the other two films are good, and I understand why, because it brought closure to the whole story, even though I believe there's a fourth one coming out soon. Don't know why. So yeah, the Matrix, you can watch it by itself or watch the other two with it. But if you watch any of them, it needs to be the first one. Brilliant film, absolutely brilliant, and it brought the thing to old Matrix style effects for bullet time, and stuff like that. Very very good film. Next one is another one I've seen. It's where they have invented an energy device that gives permanent energy that doesn't drain anything or run out. And obviously, the government are trying to get their hands on it because they don't want this going out because it means they're going to lose money and stuff like this. Ross is now trying to think of what film I'm on about. I've seen it. To my knowledge, Ross has not seen this film. So she wouldn't know what film I'm on about. It's called Chain Reaction. And it came out shortly after the two Bill and Ted films had been done. I actually watched this film on the strength of the Bill and Ted films, and it's very, very good. I've seen it a couple of times. Again, it's not on my top 10. I wouldn't say it's one of his best, but it is a good film. Good film. And I've got three films left to go through. Now, one I know Roz hasn't seen because it hasn't actually been come out available yet. It's just been at the cinema. Maybe available on Sky soon when it comes out. I've got to stop doing that because I'm trying to show Roz in the shot, and every time I sit forward like that, I go, I'm blocking. But the first one is a remake of an old film from the late 60s, early 70s, I believe. And the film was about an alien that comes to the Earth to stop us using nuclear powers and stuff. And they sent out this like a robot who went wild, and then he had to try and stop the robot and join in. I'm talking about a film called The Day the Earth Stood Still. It was a remake, and I'm always on the fence when they do a remake of a film because It always, when they do this, they either try to better it or try to work upon the strength of the first one. Do like a, he's like, for example, Ghostbusters. I love the original Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, even though I've heard there's they're doing a sequel as well, for apparently. Apparently, sir. Matron's coming up a lot today. Why is that, Ross? Why is Matron coming up a lot?
Because you were watching Only When I Laugh earlier on TV, which is about a hospital program years back.
An actress played, actress starred in Carry On Matron.
That
Yes, that's it.
Carry
That's the one. That's the one, Matron. Yes, that's the one. So yeah, he starred in this film, and going back to Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Ask me about Carry On
Sorry,
films and you're going.
Yeah. And that's a game, isn't it? How many Carry On films? Do you know the other day? Actually, it is proof of going on the spot. There's a show on Sunday called was it
It's on during the week as well, but it's called Tenable.
Tenable, that's it. And you got to do a list of like the top 10 of this and the top 10 of that,
and it was
blah
top
blah
10
blah.
Carry On films with
in
2 words.
In alphabetical order. And we actually, me and Roz played this along, and we'll see if we can work it all out. And there's one we couldn't get. One we couldn't get. And now you're going to ask me what that one was. That was last Sunday. I can't remember what happened last Sunday. Anyway, yeah. So we almost done it. We almost done it. Anyway, we're talking about Ghostbusters, aren't we? About sequels. A lot of people, when they made the newest Ghostbusters film that came out a couple of years back, and it was all women rather than blokes, a lot of people shot it down because they said it's not as good as the Ghostbusters in the past. The Ghostbusters were really good, and they tried to better it, and they haven't. When they do that, that is a star that I call. They're not trying to better Ghostbusters from the past. If you watch that film today and not seen the Ghostbusters from the past, you will laugh your socks off. You will find it very, very funny. What you should do is try to judge it against the original thing, because that wasn't what they're trying to do. It was not what they're trying to do, and to me, it made it justice through the actual film. Now, other ones that have remade a film, and I'm trying to think now, off the top of my head, a film that I can use as an example where they've remade the film. And I'm not talking about the Walt Disney franchise at the moment. They're doing lots and lots of live action versions of cartoon films. I'm not going into that because that's a different street. Charlie. I'm not on about sequels either, the follow-ups. That's another kettle of fish. Another kettle of fish, matron. It really is. It really is. It really, really, really is. And the question of the day: how many times am I going to say matron in this film? Matron, 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 matron. How many times am I going to say matron?
Answers on a postcard, please.
Answers in comments below. Answers in the comments. How many times do I say matron in this live feed? Now, when I say it's going only when I say matron. If Ross says the word
matron,
it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Honestly, if I say Mar and Tron, that doesn't count because it's Mar and Tron together. It says matron. M-A-T-R-N. Matron. Ross has just got
that. I got it the first time you said it.
Sometimes you got to remember when they remake a film. Another one was Rat Race, actually. I believe Rat Race was a remake of an old film. I've not seen the original. Another one I can talk about as a remake was 60 Seconds. Did you know that's a remake of a film? And funny enough, the original one's called 60 Seconds. I can't tell you much about the original because I've never seen it. Come on, I only just saw last Christmas. I mean, first time I've ever seen A Wonderful Life. and I'm glad I did. I've always wanted to see that film, but I've never actually sat down to watch it. There's so many films I'd love to watch. It's just getting the time to sit down and relax on watching it. But yeah, now seeing that brilliant film, it will come up one day. Brilliant film. It's like another example I can give you. And this is what I was going to come up with earlier on. Is the Magnificent Seven. A lot of people compare the newest version of that with the original Magnificent Seven, and they say, "Oh, it's not very good. The storyline's not quite the same, in all this and all that, and in the original that so and so died, but they didn't die in that one." And it comes again. You can't judge the two films together. You've got to judge the film separately. And in my eyes, that film respected the original one when it was being made. And Roger's now thinking, "Have I seen the Magnificent Seven, the newest one?" You have. You have seen it. We'll have to watch it again one other day. Yes, yes. It's got the bloke who plays Thor in it. Chris. It's not. No, he didn't. No. The bloke who played Star Lord, called Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in it. There you go. I knew I'd remember eventually. I knew it'd come eventually. Eventually, matron. Yes, it will eventually. Yes, matron. Yes, I'm throwing these out now to see if you can keep count and keep a tally. And half an hour, this is a half-hour show we're going on today. Wow, time's gone well. Time's gone well. Misses. And yeah, so The Day the Earth Stood Still, it's a good film. Very, very good film. But not judge it against the original one. It pays respect to it. It has its own type of story. I really, really recommend you watch it. The next one is another one I've seen. Now, to my knowledge, Ross has not seen this film. When I watched it, she wasn't here. Unless she's watched a film when I'm not here that she hadn't told me about. And she's got a mischievous smile on her face. So she just does this nine times out of 10. She watch a film that probably a lady's film, doesn't really want to watch. Be honest. Who wants to watch Pretty Woman? What bloke wants to watch Pretty Woman? To a lady who watches it, adores that film. You see,
excuse me, somebody who sat next to me that says they don't like Dirty Dancing, but they always watch the final scene.
You see,
and
I will agree.
cry.
I will agree. I do not like the film Dirty Dancing. The actual film, okay. But I put my hands up. I love the dance at the end of the film, and I don't know why. Sometimes it's really, really, really. Yeah. Anyway, this is what I come. That's better. What do you think? That's the best of you. You don't want to know what she's scratching my back right now. I don't know why. And my sweaty hot back. She's getting my sweat all over her fingers. So yes, the next film is called 47 Ronin. This is a martial art film. Hack and slack. It's not Roz's style of film. Trust me, you would not like this film. But for me, it's very, very good. It's a very hard one to actually describe what it's actually about, apart from it has 47 Ronin in it. And those who know, watch this and know what a Ronin is, it's a samurai without a master. It's like a rogue samurai, and there's 47 of them. And it's a very good film. Very, very good film. Very, very good film, matron. Matron, indeed. All head alert. All head alert. Now, last but not least, this film has only been released in the cinema. And I didn't know he actually was in this film. And he's a vocal part because this is a pixelated film, as in animated, computerized. So you can't call it live action. Now, film. This is the fourth in the series. Now, Rise is trying to think now what film I'm on about by these clues. Fourth in the series stars Tom Hanks as the vocal in this film. Tim Allen does a vocal in this film from Home Improvement. Brilliant TV show. Brilliant TV show. Brilliant TV show. It has the bloke from Cheers, an American comedy. He does a vocal part in the film. Another clue there. I can't tell you what his name is because I can't remember. He plays the postman in Cheers, the know-it-all postman.
Cliff.
That's the yeah, see, it's Cliff in Cheers, but he was a vocal in this show. And I'm trying to think who else is in it. I believe the bloke who played in the modern version of the Hillbillies, the bloke who played Bar in the modern version of the old TV series, he voices the springy dog thing in the film. And by that clue, you should know now not franchise I'm talking about. I'm indeed talking about Toy Story 1, 2, 3, and he appears in 4, which has just come out. And I want to see that because I do like the Toy Story franchise. Very, very funny film. It's the one that made Pixel famous. Pixel famous. Yes, it did. And Roger's falling asleep over there. Look, you were playing with your phone, weren't you? She's playing with her phone. That's how excited she is by this show. So yes, that's in my eyes lovely film that Mr. Keanu Reeves, totally excellent dude, matron, has appeared in. Yes, and I'm going to watch some of these films because I've really watched them. It's only justified that I do that. He is on the list of one of my favourite actors. I would say, I said he only in my top 10. I'd actually say it's in my top 5. I would say he's in my top 5. I love watching him in films. It's very difficult to actually say top 10 or top 5 for me because there's so many actors I love. I love Nicolas Cage. I love Tom Hanks. I love Murray. They're all different style of films. I love Eddie Murphy. I had a massive culture of watching films in the 80s, and I'm talking about Beverly Hills Cop. I'm talking about Cannonball Run. I'm talking about Smokey and the Bandit. Obviously, I'm talking about the Star Wars films. Obviously, I'm talking about the Star Trek films. Obviously, I'm talking about the Police Academy films. Brilliant era films the 80s was. Brilliant era completely. I mean, style of films in the 80s was so different. They tried to do a remake of Beverly Hills Cop, not remake, a sequel, Beverly Hills Cop 3 in the 90s, whereas the other two were done in the 80s. And it just wasn't the same. It wasn't because they had to be correct with some of the bits they were doing, and it just wasn't the same. And I thought they should let Sleeping Dog lie and leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone, Mrs. So yes, I can't list my favourite actors because I have so many of them, and I have a respect for a lot of different venues. Any type of films you'll never watch me watch. Watch me watch. That's Big Brother. Watching me, watching you. Watching me, watching you. No, seriously, the only films that I don't like are the horrors. I've never been a big horror fan. I've never seen The Nightmare on Elm Street. I've never seen Friday the 13th. The only film I've seen that closely resembles a horror, and it's only because the end of the film, and I believe it's actually Roz that said this. There's a film called Bugs in Space, Starship Troopers, and it's about bugs who declare war on Earth, and it's film is done with a comedic side to it, and I think that's the reason why I enjoyed watching it. But at the end, you got this big the queen comes forward and sticks like a antenna tube thing into the bloke's brain and sucks all the bloke's brain out. And that was funny the way they did it. But Roz saw me watching this and she was like, "It's not you like your films." Roz doesn't sound like that. Roz sounds like,
Hello, I am Ross.
when I take the mickey out of someone, the voice comes out. And when I take the mickey out of people, I do it with respect. Yeah, see. Roz knows what I'm on about. So yeah, she's like, oh, no, horror films. And I said, I don't, but that's funny. That is funny. So you know, that's another film I recommend you watch. Starship Troopers, very, very good, very, very good. So on that note, the note of do re mi fa sol la ti. This is Trev the Rev saying, if you've enjoyed this show, please hit the like button. And if you'd noticed, Roz is professionally going out of the camera. You see half of Roz's face at the moment. That's better. That's better. And half again. That's better. That's better. Yes. Yes, matron. Um, if you've enjoyed this show, if you've enjoyed this live show, we're not live show because it won't be live when you watched it because the live feed's about to end. So it'll be a replay, reaction, replay. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, if you're new to my show, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. That subscribe button. And warning. I'm going to start singing in a minute. Because if you want to know when something's coming out, when it's coming out, hit that bell. You know, dun 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 dun. You thought I was going to go ring my bell, ring the bell, a ding dong, ding a ling a ling. No, I wasn't. I thought I'd be different and go dun 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 dun. You're thinking, what is he on? What is that bloke on? That is Tubular Bells. Dun, dun, dun. If you're not sure, I've seen The Exorcist. I believe it's in that somewhere. Tubular Bells, one of my favourite tracks. Tubular Bells 1, 2, and 3. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And obviously, and the best thing you can do for me, if you've really enjoyed this show, if you've really, really enjoyed this show, you got to tell your friends about it. Pass the word. Get other people to watch it. Because there's more things I can do when more people watch the show and like it. Honestly. Triple up, my friends. This is Trev the Rev and Rosla was signing off. Until next time, matron. Once again, matron, farewell. Triple up, my friend.